Okay, team. Welcome to this prehab session. So this session we're gonna work on kind of ankle rehab if you've ever twisted it, sprained it, etc. Then there'll be some really good exercises here for you. A big part of kind of re-strengthening or kind of restabilizing your ankle is not just strength, it's also mobility and calf strength as well. So it's not just about kind of being able to move your ankle freely. It's also about strengthening the muscles around it. You are going to need for the session a mini band, a long resistance band, ideally something kind of heavier duty like this, a rolled up mat, a some sort of elevated surface. It doesn't have to be a bench, but you could use like a chair or something like that, and then something that you can that will create some stability for your standing foot when we do a split squat. So I'm going to use kind of this Bosu with the rounded side up, but you don't have to use something like that. If you've got a wobble cushion, again, ideal, but you could just use a cushion from the sofa or something like that. Just basically something that's going to create a level of instability, nothing too major, but just a level of instability for you when we do that exercise. Okay, so we're going to start off just with a few mobilization exercises. Okay, so just move this bench out a little bit more. So you want an elevated surface of some description, a chair or something like that would be fine. And basically what you're going to do is just put one foot on top, and we're just going to shift around in the ankle joint. So you're keeping your heel planted to the floor, and you're just kind of sinking through the ankle joint. Just starting off by going straight forwards. Then we're going to go off to the side. Just remember, keeping your ankle planted, your heel planted. Then we can go inside, and basically you're just trying to move down the three planes. Okay, so off to the right, just going a little bit further with each one. Forwards. So what you might find is once you sprain your ankle, you can get a bit of compression in here. So these exercises like this are going to identify that. And if you find a point of compression, then just sort of sit on it and just kind of nudge. Then come back, go down a different plane. Middle. Go back to that point and just sort of sit on it and nudge it a little bit. And we're just trying to encourage the joint to open up. So we're just going to do a couple more. Just doing on an elevated surface like this just allows you to just go get a little bit of leverage. Okay, then we'll go on to the other side. Find that your calves are a little bit tight, which might prevent you a touch. Start trying to push through on it. Careful of your knee. Your knees might not be the most comfortable one. Yeah, just find that point of tension and really kind of push through on it. You can do this just flat on the floor as well, by the way. But this is one to kind of do very regularly. So just like when you get up in the mornings, after you've had a shower or whatever, I would suggest very much, if you've ever had ankle issues in the past, one to do before you go out for a run. Okay, so let's go pause on that one. Move that out of the way. So this next one is actually a stretch, but we're going to kind of turn it into a slightly more dynamic mobilization exercise. So get your rolled up mat, put it on the floor. Then what you're going to do is just put just the tops of your toes on top of the mat. Just seeing how dirty my feet are. That's disgusting. So this is actually a stretch for your tibialis anterior, which runs down the front of your shin and across the top of your foot. Normally we do this kind of on the flat floor, but just by putting the mat under your toes creates an extra bit of leverage. So you're just going to sit back onto your heels, and then you should feel a really elevated stretch across the front of your ankle. And you should come back up. Just going to keep moving, just going a little bit more pressure, a little bit more weight down on your heels with each one. So just doing about 5 or 6 of these, going a little bit further. This is one I personally do quite regularly. Injured my ankle last year, and quite often I was talking earlier about that compression you get at the front of your ankle. I do this quite a lot. Bring it up a little bit, Otherwise, I find that my left ankle, the one I injured, it gets a bit solid, and then I run a bit strangely. So I can hear it when I'm running on the pavement. It's sort of slapping the pavement as my foot lands very flat, rather than obviously ideally kind of more into the mid or forefoot, depending on your running philosophy. Okay, it's just the last one. Coming back up. Okay, cool. You can put the mat to the side. Okay, so now come into our mini band stretches. So grab the long resistance band, but we'll start with the short one with the mini band. So you're just going to place it on the sides of your feet. So you can find the side sort of knuckle bone of your little toe. Take the band out to tension, and it's very simple. All you're going to do is your feet, the balls of your feet about, I don't know, 2 centimeters off the floor, and then we're doing an E version. So we're going outwards. Okay, so just think about your heels planted. Try not to move your knees. Keep your knees still, and just shifting, pushing your feet outwards like that. Okay, we're going to do 8 of these. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Those knees still. 4. So it should be all core rotation version. Last one. Might find that one quite tough. 8. So now this one looks complicated. It's not that bad. Okay. I had to practice this one a couple of times before pressing the record button. So you're just going to put one foot, kind of your ankle on top of the knee. Then you're going to anchor band underneath the kind of weight bearing foot, shall we say, and then wrap the edge again just on the outside knuckle, this time with your big toe. Okay, so it should be pulling your foot down. So if you look at the line of the band, basically that's the trajectory that we're working against. Okay, so you're not kind of rotating, you're not kind of just pushing it in, it's going up in a sort of diagonal line, so like that. Actually quite a hard one. Okay, so get your band anchored, get it taut, and then we're going to work in that kind of diagonal trajectory for 8 on each side. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8 on each side. So start by putting your ankle on top of your knee, then the band over the knuckle, outside knuckle, and here we go for another 8. 3, 4, 5, 7. There we go. Okay, so just put your bands to the side for a second. Okay, so this next one is a seated kind of bent knee calf raise. Is try and get into your soleus. Okay, just turn the bench side on. Might be a little easier for you to see. Okay, so sitting side on, very straightforward, and we're going to add in a little bit of weight. So I forgot to mention the bit of weight, but just so you can see what's going on, just put your hands on the bench. I'm not sure what to do with them there. It's very simple. Okay, so you just go up on your toes like that. Okay, and the reason you got it's going to hit your soleus because when your knees are bent, that hits the kind of the more the deeper lying smaller calf muscle. When your legs are straight, you primarily hit the gastrocnemius, which is the bigger calf muscle. So if we just take a weight, all you're going to do, rest it across the tops of your knees like this, and as I just demonstrated, go up on your toes like that. Okay, so I'm going to do 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really pushing down on that big toe, remember. 5. All our calf raises. 6. Trying to get that big toe activated. 7. And 8. You can, of course, do this single leg as well. Just like so. So if you wanted 2 weights, 1 on each knee. Do the same, just like that. Okay. So that's the bent knee calf raise for your soleus. This next one, we're going to go into our split squat. So this is quite a challenging exercise. Okay, you probably don't need any weight for this. What we're primarily trying to do is force your kind of help stabilize itself really. So normal split squat setup. Okay, so I would suggest how we best do this. Starting with your foot on. I mean, do it next to the wall or something so you can use it to help balance. You shift your weight over onto whatever it is you're standing on. Back foot goes out. If you're not really comfortable with your balance or whatever, just do it with your back foot down, okay? But just kind of come forward on your toes so your weight is over your front leg, and then it's just like that. But if you want to do the advanced version, toes back onto the bench, but make sure your split squat setup is proper. Your chest up, looking forwards, hips, knees, everything facing forwards, and you just have a hand out to just give you some balance. It's more about challenging what's going on down here, and then normal split squat, driving through the heel, and all the time your ankle is being challenged to kind of keep yourself upright. Okay, so I suggest just starting with 6 or so of these, building up to maybe sort of 12 or 15. This exercise is more about kind of building stamina and stability rather than kind of really loading it up. So that's 3. Let's just start with 6. 5. 6. Okay. And then swap feet. Whatever you see. Doesn't need to be a bow C. It's whatever you want really. Okay, make sure the setup is right. Here we go. 2. 3. Put chest up. 5. 6. Okay, if you have a bow C, you really want to make this challenging. Turn it flat side up. Just be careful, because it will be challenging. Okay, so final exercise. It's another calf raise exercise. Standing facing the wall. And what you're going to do is you're going to get up to your toes and bring your heels in like that. So I did it in 2 phases there. What you should be trying to do is do it as one kind of solid, smooth motion. So it should look like this, like that. So you bring your heels in together, like that. Really planting through that big toe. Okay, so 8 of these. 1, 2, 3. Right up onto your toes. 4, 7, 8. So there you go. That's your prehab session on ankle mobility, stability. Okay, so plenty of exercises you can get going on with there. But best luck. Hope it helps.